All right, the time has come. You want to start watching some of these Tubi movies, these black indie films. You've heard so much about it, but you don't know where to start. You don't know what's good, what's not good. Don't trip. The Hood Movie Critic got you. On this episode, I'm going to give you 5 movies that I've reviewed that you could start your black indie hood Tubi movie experience with. Plus, I told you, when I started this show, one of my main priorities was to introduce you to some of the creators of these films. And I just so happen to have one of the biggest, you know what I mean? I'm talking about Nelson J. Davis pulled up backstage and chopped it up with us. And later on in the show, my guy AM from the AMS Experience pulls up and lets us know what's burning his biscuits. Y'all are going to absolutely love this episode. This is Backstage, episode 2. Enough said.
You are now kicking it backstage with the Hood Movie Critic, D. Jones.
Yo, welcome backstage. I will be your host, D. Jones. Get you something to drink, get you something to eat, get you some snackums. Listen, at the end of the day, get yourself comfortable, damn it. We are about to kick it. Listen, let's take care of the business real quick. I need y'all to like and subscribe so we can continue to build this community that we started from scratch, man. There's nothing but love in this community. So if you could spread the word so we can continue to build it, yo, that would be love. But I do have a request. Hey, listen, I need y'all to be judicious with to whom you are giving our backstage passes to. Just don't go share this with everybody. We don't need people backstage cutting the fool back here, you know what I mean? Getting all drunk, sloppy, you know what I mean? Just messing up the whole vibe. So, yo, let's make sure that we protect what we are building here. But, yo, I would really appreciate if y'all like, subscribe, be judicious who you share with, and we can continue to get it popping. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into it, damn it. So, you've seen the memes, you've watched the reels, you've heard people talking about these Tubi movies, or you just want to start supporting black indie film. Hey, you don't know where to start, you don't know what's good, you don't know what's bad. As I said in the intro, don't trip. Hey, listen, the Hood Movie Critic, I got you. So here are 5 films that I think you can start on Tubi that's going to be a good launching point for you to start getting into black indie film as it pertains to on Tubi or anywhere else for that matter. Couple things before we dig into that is that I'm gonna put a few in a separate category. For instance, y'all know if you've been rocking with me from, Instagram at D Jones Reviews, and I did a review on a film called Gaslight. Y'all know how I feel about Gaslight. If you watched the previous Backstage, you know I shouted out Gaslight with that one. Gaslight is the only film that I've reviewed that has gotten the coveted 5 Black Fist classic rating, right? So y'all know how I feel about it. If you have not seen that review, as I said, go to my Instagram page at D Jones Reviews and check out my Gaslight review. You will see why that film was so dope to me and why it got 5 Black Fists. So we're gonna put that in this category over here, right? That's off to the side. Another thing is that this is not to say like these are like my favorite of all time. These are just good starting points. However, my favorite black indie film of all time is no other than Snow on the Bluff. And let me tell you what, there's not a close second either. Snow on the Bluff, what they were able to do in that film, in the style in which they shot it, especially at the time, was something that hadn't been seen before coming from us. We got a sense of it, maybe like in a Blair Witch or something along those lines, but to take that and put that documentary type style in the hood was absolutely brilliant, and the way they pulled it off was seamless. So Snow on the Bluff is my favorite black indie film. If you have not seen it, I highly suggest that you do. Boom, we're gonna put that over there, right? And these last 2, these are my honorable mentions, right? And so they didn't necessarily make the top 5, but I think that these would also be good places for you to start as well. First, we're gonna get into No Better Love. No Better Love is like almost like a romance drama. It has some twists and some turns in it, and it's done well. So No Better Love is a joint that is a good place to start. Well, another honorable mention I have is a joint called Heaven's Revenge. Heaven's Revenge, almost think of Thin Line meets Waiting to Exhale. You know what I mean? Let me tell you what, it's definitely a joint that is going to relate not only to the ladies, but to you niggas too. if you don't get your shit right. Hey, keep on playing with these women's feelings if you want to. Hey, you're gonna have a woman like Heaven hog tie your ass and throw you in the back of a car. All right, so Heaven's Revenge is another one that I think is a good starting point. So we're gonna put that over there in my honorable mentions. Now let's get into my 5 that I believe are good starting points. And the first one I wanna get into is if you are looking for a comedy, something lighthearted that's gonna give you a good laugh, I'm gonna have to point you over to Devin Bray, Devin Bray Jr., and I'm talking no other than PPP Long Gone. I think there was a lot of hoopla that was going on. Nigga, did I just say hoopla? Yo, I'm bugging. There was a lot of fanfare, right? There was a lot of viral moments. Nigga said hoopla. Yo, I'm bugging. There was a lot to be said, I think, when this film first dropped. I think we've seen a lot of people talking about it just, within the culture and the community. And if you thought or they thought this was one of those films that was just like on some BS or just like something to click on, it's not. Let me be clear. PPP Long Gone is legitimately funny. The cast gets busy in there. It's a story that is well told. It's well shot. And PPP Long Gone, if you are looking for comedy, that is a place I definitely will start. Let me go next. I'm gonna go to a joint actually called Set Secrets. Set Secrets is by my man Gerard McKenzie, and it's a drama that kind of focuses on like a young actress, and she's presented with an opportunity of a lifetime. However, where things get a bit precarious is that her co-star, who is in this movie like the bigger star of the two, starts to kind of make sexual advances to her, just kind of making her feel comfortable, and we're able to go on a journey to see how she's dealing with it. And the young lady, her name is Patrice Manders. She plays the role, and let me tell you what, Patrice Manders, she gets absolutely busy. Like the acting range that she has and shows in this film it's super dope. Just the whole cast, Jesse Bigham, he kills it. Nadine Bone, it's a super dope cast, and it also gives perspective, right? And we get a look into the business in terms of, and I think that not only the entertainment business, but I just think life in general, and sometimes what women have to go through when they are put in the position of being uncomfortable, but that uncomfortability being in concert with where their job is, and then maintaining or keeping a job, and how do they balance that? How are they able to navigate in that space? So Set Secrets does a really good job of diving deep into that without it coming across preachy, and that's the important part, and it's very well written. Next, if you are looking for a romance thriller type joint, we are going to holler at my man Marcus McFadden, because my man Marcus McFadden comes through with a joint called Seal of Desire. This one is interesting. Of course, it's shot incredibly well out of Vegas. The writing is tight, but the plot of my man Marcus being a couples therapist, and within being a couples therapist, what he's also is almost a womanizer to a degree, right? But he feels like he's almost like the Robin Hood of coochie. Right, and what I mean by that is that he takes it from the undeserving to whom he believes is the undeserving, which are individuals that are being unfaithful. And what he will do is he has an alter ego almost to a degree that will round up all the evidence showing their infidelity and then present that to the spouse surreptitiously. So now the spouse finds out about it, and here comes Darren McFadden, you know what I mean? Just sliding up in there and getting the coochie, you know what I mean? But how he does it and him meeting his match, and we get to see him meet his match in this film, and just how he's able to navigate this space. So Seal of Desire, again, is another one of those films that's written well. It kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat being a thriller, but then also a romance quality to it where, let me see, I can't say that I was ever rooting for him. I won't say that, but that's what good cinema does, right? Good cinema makes you pick a side, and I thought that this film does an incredible job of that. Next, we're gonna get into some horror. We are gonna check in with my man Felix Jordan. He has a film called Dogface. Dogface, the easiest way to explain this is think of Haunted Trap House. And that's real. This is a story about, a hustler, a haunted trap house. And let me tell you what, they got some real thorough cats in here that are really doing their thing. And the sisters that are in here as well. I mean, the way they all complement each other and the way that they were able to kind of mesh, like hood concepts and theories with it being haunted and not come across corny is phenomenal. So if you are looking for horror, I want you to check in with Dogface. And last but certainly not least, I want to put it under drama. I want to put it under romance, kinda. Yeah, I don't know what to put this under. If you into some freaky shit, it falls under that category. I'm talking about my man Nelson J. Davis with Taboo 3. This is wow. I tell you what, here's what it is. If you're going to get into Taboo 3, have an open mind. Know that you are walking into, as the title would suggest, something that is taboo. And not only that, there is an underlying message that transcends the sexual nature of this film, right? And so if you are looking to be able to have an open mind, but still be able to be cognizant enough to be able to understand undertones and nuance, then Taboo 3 is 1000% for you. And talking about Nelson J. Davis, I'm gonna take y'all back for a minute. I was first introduced to this brother and his work after reviewing one of his many films. My man has a career spanning well over a decade. He's established himself as one of the most versatile actors in the business, seemingly transitioning from drama to comedy and everything in between. He's portrayed a wide range of characters, from the villainous to the heroic. His performances have garnered critical acclaim in numerous awards. Listen, this brother is special because he has an uncanny ability to not only relate to the fellas, but simultaneously have women throw their panty drawers at him. All right, y'all hear me? Listen, you may have seen this brother on the IG channel, like Flex. May have seen this brother on the TV network, like Flex. You may have seen this brother on BET, on Netflix. Some people refer to him as the king of Tubi. I refer to him as one of the freakiest dudes on Tubi, damn it. I tell you what, hey, I'm talking about the one, the only, Nelson J. Davis is in the building with us today, brother. Yes.
What's going on, fam?
Yes.
What's going on, fam?
All right, peace to you, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm great, man. I'm so glad to be here. That was quite an introduction you had right there, man.
Hey, let me tell you what, it was real, though. It was absolutely real. Before we even get started with everything, man, one thing that I want to make sure that I did, man, especially publicly, is show you gratitude, thanks, and give you your flowers, man. Not only for the work that you've done, because your catalog is extensive, right? And the content that you give people and the entertainment that you give people needs to be recognized, right? But not only that, but for you just being a genuine dude, right? And you reaching out to others and helping others establish a platform. You know what I mean? When I first got in this game of reviewing independent Black film, maybe more specifically Tubi, the first joint I did of yours was Taboo 3, right? Which I'm gonna get into. My first joint I did was Taboo 3. And when I put it out and, let everybody know I was reviewing it, the whole thing, you were one of the dudes that not only shot at me out, but bigged me up, told people come mess with me, right? Like, hey, keep it a buck. Like, we didn't know each other from Adam's House Cat. You know what I mean? But that was all love. And it went further than just Taboo. You understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of my projects, like you're reposting, you're showing love like that. For you to do that, us not having a relationship, but now cultivating one over time is incredible, man. So I want to thank you. You know what I mean? Because you've been instrumental in helping me build this community.
Appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. You're doing it, man. I love to see it, man. Glad to be a part of it.
Yo,
the culture needs you, dog. The culture needs you, man.
Hey, man, let me tell you what. I am trying my best. You know what? And for someone that's been in this Tubi game for a while, let's be clear, and let's be clear to everybody else. My man Nelson, does he do a lot of Tubi films? Yes, but we're also talking about a brother that's been in the game since 16, doing modeling. We're talking about city trends, right? We talking about goddamn the vodka. You know what I mean? We're talking about the underwear line, right? Like, yo, you've been in the game for a long time. So I want to be clear about that. But I do want to just pivot back to the Tubi, is that you've also been in this Tubi game for a while. And I feel that people kind of make a mockery of these films. You know what I mean? Where I didn't feel that way. And I felt like it deserved honest, real critique. I felt that it needed the flowers, right? And the analysis as any major motion picture would get. Have you noticed, how do people treat Tubi movies? Or how do they view them like overall, like generally speaking?
I think it's definitely a couple of groups there. It's definitely a lot of people, like you said, that make a mockery of it. It's funny because I even saw Tubi actually make a tweet about that. They was like, we see you, make fun of these movies, but you watch them all day. So, I mean, I do feel that if some people, like, all they do is just look for the continuity errors, the bad acting, like, that's what they're there for. But I've also seen a group of people, like, they genuinely, like, love the movies. And they're there for the actors, they're there for the storylines, So it's kind of 50-50. I've seen it both ways.
What's unique about the Tubi experience when it comes to Black indie films is that it's one of the only places that you're going to get a collective of different films, right? So I think once we talk major motion pictures, we're in some subservient role, or you got the white savior coming, or, it's a slave movie. Where Tubi, we can have a horror movie that's just a horror movie. We can have a drama that's just a drama, a love story that's just a love story. And we can touch different spots where we don't have to preach our stories for others to understand. Does that make sense?
Right, exactly. It makes perfect sense. And I totally agree with that statement. It's definitely, you get to see films out of the norm and not that same cookie cutter. People get to tell their stories and stay true to their stories because they don't have different people saying, no, you got to do it like this, you got to do it like that. It's like raw.
Facts.
Raw.
I'm gonna take you back, okay? And where I want to take you back to young Nelson. I'm talking about young Nelson that used to be back in Hunter's Creek, driving around in a go-kart. You know what I mean? That's where I want to take you back to, brother. You know what I mean? Do you remember those days?
I do. It seems like it was
driving
just
around
yesterday.
in a go-kart with the glasses at Hunter's Creek. Listen, man, and you got into the drama very early in your career. Do you remember with your first time on stage, what was the play? You started with a lot of stage work, correct?
Yeah. I started with stage work, and I'm glad you brought that up because early on in life, I realized that sometimes it's who you know. Because, man, I wanted to be the lion so bad in that play, and they gave the role to a girl because her mom was on a PTO. Like, she couldn't even act, and I was a freaking munchkin, so I might as well have been an extra. Like, that was my first play. I'm just like, yo, how'd she get to be the lion? Oh, her mom's the president of... okay. So, yeah, but to be honest, bro, like, it was cool acting, but I learned very quickly. I didn't like the stage thing, man. I did not like the stage. I was like, the acting was cool, but, next thing you know, I got a video camera, man. I was running around the neighborhood making movies. I started on film early, man. I was watching Belly when I had no business watching Belly, and I was just so, like, inspired by the visuals. And you'll see that in some of my work now, like the lighting and stuff. I just really love, like, I was watching Belly in, like, 4th grade. I had no business watching it. But I was just like, yo.
You say that. I got that feeling from Lady's Choice, especially. You know what I mean? Cinematically in the lighting. Like, am I missing it?
No, you on point. Definitely Lady's Choice and Concealment. Those are two I was definitely inspired. Like, both of those, I had shots from Belly on my vision board. Because I have a vision board for every movie, like how I went and shot. So, no, you're right on with that.
Yo, I'm going to be honest with you. Can I be honest with you?
You can be completely honest with me.
Belly's trash, okay? The visuals are gorgeous. the visuals are gorgeous. And I've been on record saying Belly is one of the worst movies ever. It's one of those movies where at the time it was dope, but now looking back at it as an adult, nah.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. I was just in love with the visuals. That was it for me. Like, I just love the way it looked. I'm like, yo, that's so cool. The slow motion shot in the beginning, just the color grading. Yeah, bro. Like, I didn't even know what was going on halfway through the movie, but I'm like, yo, this is dope.
Hey, none of us. Hey, so, can you kind of walk me through some of the major differences for you between stage acting and film acting, right? Because obviously there are distinct differences, of course, right? But what are some, I guess, the pros and cons for you, and what had you gravitate more towards like video as opposed to the stage?
The visuals, because I'm like, you can't do that on stage. It's like, I love the angles and the lighting. Like, I fell in love with that part too. And I just always felt that film was more real because, I mean, stage, they're supposed to overact. Like, it's very dramatic. And I like, film, how it's supposed to be more relatable and more like, you know what I'm saying? Like a real conversation, like me and you talking right now. This is suitable for a film. On stage, you're gonna be like, yo, what's wrong with that actor? Why are they talking like that?
Is there a different connection you receive with the audience doing stage? Obviously there is, but how is that instant reaction on the stage? You know what I mean? And do you ever miss that part of it, right? Because when you are doing film, we don't get into a lot of your joints because they invoke a lot of emotion, you know what I mean? However, you don't necessarily get to feel it, perhaps in the moment, as opposed to stage acting. Is that anything like you miss at all?
To be honest, nah. I know a lot of people, they love the instant gratification. I probably feel like I'm supposed to say that, but I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, I just really have no desire for it. Like, and I respect them. It's just not, doesn't do much for me. It doesn't get me excited like film does.
What was your first film? Do you remember the first film that you got the role, that you got the part in?
That I actually went, I'm gonna say it was, I feel like I should know this, but they all happened around the same time. They actually came out. See, that's another thing. We do a lot of things as actors and nobody ever sees a day of light. So I'm gonna say it was 24 Hours with Alizé Elise, who's a great filmmaker out of North Carolina as well. I was actually in that movie. I played a supporting role, a detective, and I want to say that was the first role that I went after and got in. The film actually came out. At the time, that one actually hit Redbox kiosk because that was popular back then. So it was actually on DVD in the Redbox. So I was really excited about that. So yeah, I want to say that was.
Did you have to audition for it?
I did. She had me read. She already knew I wanted. She knew she wanted me in the film, but it was like, okay, where do I put him? So she had me read a few parts, and she's like, okay, that one.
Is auditioning still a thing for you? I know a lot of the work that you put out is yours, right? And you're writing, you're producing, you're directing. Are you still auditioning for things, or is that a thing of the past?
It's crazy though, because probably I get inquiries about being in other films, but usually they're like, oh, we want you to have the role. Like, I'm just being honest. It's like 90% of them are like, have the script, can we book you? It's never an audition. Sometimes people hit me up, some random people, and I decline it because I'm like, I'm not auditioning for you. I don't think I'm too good at audition, but I mean, I never heard of you, or I've seen your work and your work is trash. I'm not gonna audition for somebody and my audition tape looks better than your last movie. I'm just being honest. I'm not doing that. But I built a lot of relationships with a lot of directors and producers that I've worked with in the past. So it's kind of like a repeat thing there. And I never really have to audition because like they know what I can do. And a lot of times they already writing those roles with me in mind. So
this is interesting. Is it better to be that dude on Tubi where like, listen, man, let's be clear. During that introduction, there wasn't a lot of hyperbole, right? Like when I said, yo, some people refer to him as the king of Tubi. This is a fact, right? There is Nelson J. Davis fan pages. These things are real. So is it almost better to be able to be on that level on Tubi, or would you take maybe a more of a major film kind of position, but you're going to be a little bit lower?
I'm gonna have to rock with the first one with Tubi, and it's funny. I get that question asked a lot. They're like, "Would you rather be an extra in a major motion picture or be a lead in an indie film?" And it's interesting to me when people say, "I'd rather be an extra in a big budget film." I'm just like, clearly you haven't, been on one of those sets because you don't get paid that much. Like some people that's never done it think it's very rare that they're like, "Oh, you're gonna be a star. You're gonna get a speaking role." It doesn't happen. I'm not trying to be negative, but a lot of people they have this stigma in their mind, like, "Well, you just never know." Bro, you're excited about your elbow being seen on the screen. Like, I'm not. And then what's even more interesting in a lot of these movies, they're going to Tubi. Like, and it's crazy because there was a movie that I was devastated about.
That's a bar.
Because I made it.
That's a bar.
It was a movie I had auditioned for, and I was like, almost devastated about it. Once upon a time, like earlier on in my career when I was auditioning, because it was originally going to be a TV One movie, I think it was, and I had made the short list, which means like I auditioned like 3 times and I got down to like the last 10, and they ended up going with someone else because the sister, one they picked as a sister, looked more like the other guy or whatever the case may be. And like I was just like, dang, I worked so hard for this. And it's one thing to get a rejection, but it's another thing to know that you're that close and you didn't get it. So it kind of took a lot out of me. And then, fast forward years later, I have my movie Unwitting to See, and it's like right next to that movie on Tubi. I'm like, okay, well.
You're 1,000% correct, and I never even looked at it from that perspective, right? One way or another, it's gonna end up on Tubi, right? So why not build your own? Is the community there? You know what I mean? To be able to be incredibly successful on Tubi?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Without no question.
When we're talking about fan club, do you know who made it?
It's a different person running the Twitter and the Instagram, and then there's another group of young ladies running the Facebook. And there's a lot of people involved. I don't want to single anybody out. Just shout out to that whole group.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, shout out to all of those groups. I don't want to get in trouble if somebody get mad at me.
What's that feel like, brother? Do you remember that moment where you're like, yo, this is happening?
Bro, I still have those moments like to this day, like right now. It's surreal. That's the only way to really put it. And a lot of times, like when you're so busy, you're constantly trying to put out content, and some people have to check me around me, not because I'm like, think I'm all high and mighty. It's just that I'm just so focused. They're like, yo, you need to sit back and realize what's happening right now. Like, this is dope. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. It is dope. But it's surreal. Like, I wake up in the mornings, look at those notifications. I'm just like, yo, this is really happening.
Who mentored you through this process, right? Or who still mentors you? Do you have a mentor?
Definitely. I think I have like different mentors that I go to for different things. First of all, I got to say big ups to my mom. She's like the dopest mom mentor ever. I get a lot of guidance from her. She can't watch the movies, a lot of them.
That's real.
I really got to, shout her out because like that's my go-to, really, my number one. But I do have different filmmakers that I go to like for different things for advice. Bobby Peoples being one of them.
Okay, yeah.
Who was in Nakia T. Hamilton, who was another director that I work with a lot. So it's like a lot of different ones that I go to for different things. And I hate listing names because I'm gonna get in trouble. Like, oh, you forgot me. But it's just different people. This person I might go to for marketing advice. This one I might go to for visuals on cinema advice. This one I might just need to talk to because I need somebody to talk to. So yeah, definitely. But mom's number one for real though. Honestly, she's the dopest momager. She's low key my manager too. So
hey, listen, man, don't change your mama like that, okay? Low key, all the way, nigga, high key. You know what I mean? Don't do your mama like that, brother. Come on, man. And so I think, man, what's dope about you, man, amongst a lot of other things, man, is how you move in the industry and how you can kind of see you networking. You can see you cultivating and almost massaging relationships. And one of the relationships that I've seen that you've massaged very well is with Maverick, the movie company. Can you talk to me a little bit about Maverick? Like, how did that start? How is that relationship, right? Like, because I see it, and I see it in a lot of your films, and the importance of a distributor like that and building that relationship with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Big ups to Maverick Entertainment. It's funny how that all started. I was in a film called Secure the Bag, which was written and directed by Nakia T. Hamilton. I was the lead in that, and that was amongst the last stint of movies that actually went to Walmart. Like, that was on DVD in Walmart stores across the nation, and that was a Maverick release. And around the same time that we shot Secure the Bag, actually we wrapped Secure the Bag and I started my movie Unwitting Deceit 2 days later. So we shot that, I sent it to Maverick when it was done, and the fact that I was in Secure the Bag kind of pushed me through the door because around the time they were getting around 200 movies a week at that time.
Maverick?
They saw my name, for submissions, for
right.
Yeah. So when they saw my name, I think I sent it in on a Friday. I got an email Monday morning, and they was like, "We want to talk to you about distribution for your film." So I'm like, "Oh, that's dope." I was excited about that, and they were like, "Yeah, you're like family here. You've been in a couple of our movies already, and we want to make this deal happen." So big ups to Maverick, Erica, and Doug over there. So Unwitting Deceit went on to be a Tubi exclusive for the first month of its release. So that was really dope. So, and that kind of goes to your next question, the importance of having a distribution company. I mean, it's a lot of different ways to get on platforms, but when you're dealing with certain distribution companies, you get a different type of visibility, or they can pitch that project in a different way. So that particular project was pitched as a Tubi exclusive, meaning like Tubi had exclusive rights for the whole first month. So it's kind of like a partnership on the advertisement and the visibility of the film. And every movie that I've produced that Maverick has put out has been selected as a Tubi exclusive so far.
This being what you do, man, I'm just getting to this place to a degree, right? Me about to retire from the Army and building this, I'm fully retired here in a couple months.
Oh, dope. Congrats in advance, man.
Thank you, brother. Content creation is, what I'm going to continue to pursue here, but I will say this, that there is a certain apprehension, right, that comes with it because you don't know what's next, right? Like, you're flying on faith. And you've been in this game for a while, so it leads me to wonder when these lows come, right? Like COVID. How were you able to navigate this space during COVID, where I'm sure there weren't many films at all being in production that you really could do? So now here you are sitting on your hands, and as an entrepreneur, you would be definitely afraid of, you know what I mean? How were you able to navigate that? And then how was it coming out of COVID straight into concealment? Because that was right after COVID, is that correct? Yeah. Right after COVID, you're going directly into concealment, right? So like, you talk a little bit about maybe the feeling of the insurance going through it and then just bang them in the head with concealment right after.
All right, so right when the world got shut down, so to speak, I had two in the can. So I had Ultimatums and Protege. So those weren't complete yet. So I was able to actually finish and submit those during that shutdown. So I was like, okay, at least I have some material. We were in the middle of shooting Forbidden Fruit in Atlanta right when the world got shut down. So we shot like 80% of that, and then the world was shut down. So when the world started to open back up, we finished Forbidden Fruit. And then during that same time, I was shooting Quarantine Relationship, which was really, we started that towards the end of the shutdown, but when they were letting like small groups of people around each other. And bro, I couldn't even get a haircut. Like, I remember going on YouTube, they was going in on me in the comments. They was like, why your hair look so? I'm like, yo, this is really during the shutdown. Like, they was arguing.
You ain't trying to cut yourself during the pandemic?
Man, listen.
Oh, come
I had a hair. Look, dog. Look. I had a haircut. It just wasn't like they used to seeing me.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it wasn't. And they was just going in. They was like, man, we're in the quarantine. Like, what you mean? And they was going in on me. I'm like, yo. But we did quarantine relationship, finished Forbidden Fruit, and then during that time, I had got to write a lot. I wrote concealment, non-disclosure, and he say, she say. All of those were written like during the shutdown, so I was ready. I'm like, boom. So as soon as the world opened up, conceal me.
Right on.
She say, yeah, boom. So that's kind of how that happened.
I find that to a degree, you put the medicine in the can. Where what I mean by that is that there's some type of message that's inherently important in your stories. And sometimes it may be cloaked in sex, right? Or these things. However, there is incredible amount of nuance once we get past that, right? Like, I remember the very first time, I will never forget in my life. I was upstairs in my bedroom, and this is before how I used to choose my movies, right? I would literally just scroll through Tubi and just look through and like, you know, and I would just scrolling through, seeing Taboo 3. The plot description is a bit, vague, on Tubi, but something to say, give it a shot. Damn, it was late at night and we got into it. I got into it and I'm like, get the fuck, yo, ain't no way, right? And I was hooked. However, as I said in the review, once we get past that, there's an undertone there, right? We're talking about a woman with Stockholm syndrome, right? And what that does, right? And the effects on her mental health, the predatory nature of the business, right? And how some of these individuals, we see with the Weinsteins and shit like that take advantage of these actors and actresses. When we talk about non-disclosure, yes, I mean, are we talking about some hot wife, you know what I mean? Stag type shit? 1,000% we are. However, once we roll it back a bit, we see a man that can't necessarily, who's having trouble later in his age, satisfying his wife sexually. Therefore, he's going to try something to try to make her happy. I give all these examples just to ask, like, is this nuance intentional? Like, what is your thought process when you go into this? Because they're incredibly layered.
Yeah, you're like head on with it, honestly, because I mean, I know what people want to see. I'm not dumb, especially the audience that I built. I'm like, okay, I know y'all want to see sex, y'all want to see freaky stuff, and I'm cool with all of that, but it has to make sense.
Brother, we know, brother.
It has to make sense, though. And this is like, a lot of times I work backwards. I'm like, I want this to happen because I know they're going to think this is hot, but how are we going to get here? You know what I'm saying? And then but you're like head on with my thought process. Like, that's exactly how I think. I don't mind doing that, but it just needs to be a good story with it. You know what I'm saying? It just can't be just sex. I mean,
it goes beyond sex, right? Which is, we're talking about, your new joint that's about to come out, Diary of a Unicorn. You're not necessarily a Lady's Choice in what some of the brothers was doing in Lady's Choice. You're not necessarily playing in the, I guess for lack of a better word, regular, vanilla world of sex, right? You're in the kinks of sex, right?
Yeah.
Which leads me to, well, where's this inspiration coming from, right? Are you drawn from personal experiences? Or do you have a group of individuals in which you get this from, right? Because again, we gotta be clear, there's a hint, an air of authenticity that comes with a lot of these situations, right? And you can be the best storyteller in the world, brother. There has to be authenticity, and you have it in all these different kinks, right? You have the authenticity. Where's this coming from, brother?
All right, well, I wrote Non-Disclosure. That was inspired by something that could have transpired, but it didn't. I did get the idea from a real life experience, minus the murder. Diary of a Unicorn, I'm just the actor in that one. So, Bobby and Renee wrote that. But a lot of the story, Lady's Choice, I wrote that one. A lot of them, it is based off real life, but, you got a thrill, drama. All right.
Backstage with D. Jones, we got the exclusive. Nelson, the goddamn free. All right, man. But that's not a bad thing, because let me tell you what, man. It needs to be normalized. It needs to be normalized, and we need representation, especially Black folks that may be into these particular things. And I think that you're doing an incredible job of bringing it to light, right? And showing it. And again, there is an air of authenticity that you come across with, whether it's in your performances or the writing when it comes to these things. I got Nelson speechless out here. Come on, now don't do this thing, boy. Listen, What's that?
I mean,
gotta get some water. Oh boy! All right, Nelson, I'm gonna pivot you out of this one, brother. I'm gonna pivot you out of this. Let's talk about, man, when it comes to a film that you haven't written, right? That you haven't produced, and we have someone that wants you to play this role. Like, what are you looking for when you're reading a script?
To be honest, it's safe to say that I have a niche, kind of, right? You know, of my own. I like it when they say this is different than what you play. I don't like it when they come and say this is something you would make. Well, I can make that. Like, I'd rather do something, you know, different. But I do understand I have a certain brand as well, so it's kind of like certain type of roles I would be a good fit for, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has written the way that I would write it. I just look for good storytelling, really, bro, honestly. If it's a good story, and a lot of times, as soon as I start reading something, it's like, yo, I can see myself. Like, I get excited. It's like a feeling I can't even explain. But usually, I know, like, when I read it, I know I'm like, yeah, this is it.
Music is important to you.
Yeah.
You can tell in the scores in your film. I know that you use music to help you get into character for certain things, right? It acts as a muse for you. Give me some of the joints that you listen to that, and what type of moods or what type of characters they relate to.
Okay, cool, man. I remember back in December, it was like this character that I played in this upcoming film. It's called, what's the name of that movie? Anyway, the dude, the character, he's a ladies' man, but he's like a drug dealer, pretty boy type. That's what I told my barber. I was like, look, I need to be a drug dealer, but he gets ladies. He was like, all right, we're going to do this part. I'm like, all right, cool. So, you know, with that, I had popped in, I want to say I was just like on Terror Squad, the compilation joint for that whole week, like on the way to set. It was talking about selling drugs and stuff. So I was like, all right, this is it. You know, some romance, you know, because I really like R&B a lot, old school R&B. Like, if it's like some romance joint, I'm going to throw in some Silk.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Drew Hill, something like that. Just really just get that feeling of whatever the character's about to go through. It really, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be coming to set, listening to some hype crunk music and I'm about to be all romantic. You know what I mean?
Tell me what type of mood this MC puts you in, right? Because I know you listen to this MC Amtrak. You know what I mean? What type of music does Amtrak, like what type of feeling does that Amtrak music give you, brother?
Man, that's my motivation right there. That's my big brother right there.
Talk about it, man. Shout out to Rizzo, man.
Yeah. That's my bro. So, yeah, I mean, that's different because I listen to it like, yo, that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? You got that fire too, though. But yeah, that's the type of mood that puts me in. I'm like, yo, that's my bro. He did that.
Somebody that wants to be in a Nelson J. Davis production, tell them what you're looking for. What does that individual look at? I mean, what does that individual look like, right? What idiosyncrasies, what attributes do you look for people that want to play in one of your roles, in one of your films?
To be honest, like just a good attitude, good energy. Like that's first and foremost. I mean, I know that sounds cliche, but that's real though. I'd rather have somebody that's quote unquote less talented, you know what I'm saying, and has good energy than somebody with bad energy that might have a good talent. And I look for people that you can actually tell that they want to be an actor or they are actors. Like I don't want to go to your social media and I was like, I can't even tell what you do. Cause I mean, what you gonna bring to the table to me? Are you gonna push the film? Especially, you know, like those are the two things, honestly, the two biggest things.
Talk to me lastly, man, this new joint that you got coming out, Diary of a Unicorn. Man, it should be dropping on Tubi at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure that y'all go check it out, stream it. Can you tell people a little bit about that film?
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen it yet as well, but that film is definitely really dope. It was really exciting and fun doing it. I think a lot of people are going to like it, but it's basically, you know, about a woman. She's in a relationship. Her dude ain't really putting it down like that, so she's just getting kind of bored with him. She's a massage therapist. I'm actually one of her clients, and then she kind of like starts fantasizing about me and things like that. And then, you know, eventually I kind of like, you know, trying to wine and dine her, and then she finds out that I'm married. She's like, oh snap, like she thinks it's about to be a fight or something. It's like, nah, wifey's cool with that. You know, we just one big family for a little bit, but it kind of takes you, it's more than that. It kind of takes you on her ride of trying to transition into the lifestyle because she doesn't really know the rules or what to do or anything like that. We're kind of the vets in the situation. It's all new to her. So she breaks a lot of rules, things she's not supposed to do, and it kind of takes you on her journey. And the ending is crazy. I'm just leaving it at that. The ending, people gonna be like, yo.
I do feel that a lot of your films is going to have a twist. I feel like that's a signature Nelson J. Davis staple in a film, right? Is that there's going to be some type of twist in there.
Definitely. But this one, you know, I didn't write this one.
Right. But you're a part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to make it clear. I don't want nobody to think I'm taking credit.
Yeah.
So I had to put that out there. But yeah, definitely. Anything I write is gonna have a twist. It's just a matter of what is it gonna be.
Well, have a bit of honesty, right? is that, listen, man, you're an attractive brother, man. I think women are attracted to you. You know what I mean? The type of films that you tend to do, is it difficult to keep a line of professionalism? I would imagine, you know what I mean, there are going to be a lot of individuals, even to whom you start with, that may have, you know what I mean, certain feelings or want to, you know what I mean, get something popping. Like, how are you able to separate though, right? I would imagine it'd be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, it's cool, but to be honest with you, bro, completely honest, like looking at it's dope, but we treat like all the scenes just like any other scene. It's like, you know, we got the crew there. I'm very professional. I'm a different person on set. Like, you know, when I had that hat on, it's like, oh, you mean business? You know what I'm saying? I'm not strict, but you can just tell business Nelson versus, oh, this is the one I chill with. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's difficult, you know, because I mean, I am a man and I come across some beautiful women, but so, you know, it's like, you know, and keep these thoughts to myself. But,
right, absolutely.
I mean, it's human nature, but I think I got it under control though.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
This is my last one, man. I call this segment, I Said What I Said. All right, this is called I Said What I Said. I'm going to give you multiple choice. I'm gonna give you 3 statements that I need you to choose between, okay? And I need you to stand on it, all right? You gotta pick one.
All right.
You said what you said. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can either go with A, Beyonce is an average singer at best. B, the miseducation of Lauryn Hill is kind of overrated. Or C, Obama, he probably could have done a whole lot better.
Oh, man, you made it real tough.
Stand on something, brother. Just stand what you said, brother. Stand on it, brother.
I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna go with B.
The miseducation of Lauryn Hill is a little overrated?
Yeah,
hey,
a little bit.
All right.
That's all I got.
Oh, yo, Nelson, man. What's next for you, brother? Tell me what's next. Like, where do you see this going, right? Where do you want to go next? What is your vision, brother?
Vision, bro, honestly, is to make even better films with even more streams. That's all I got right now.
Listen, man, I tell you what, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you, man. This is cool, man. I really enjoyed this, man. We're going to have another one of these.
Absolutely 1,000%, man. You're a busy brother, man. And for you to take the time out, you know what I mean, to sit here and chop it up with me, I can't tell you thank you enough, man. So thank you, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, bro, for real.
Yo, major shout out to my man Nelson for taking the time to pull up with us. Now it's time to move on to a segment that is one of my favorite. I ain't even gonna hold you. This is one of my favorite segments. And this is where we check in with my man AM from the AMS Experience. And he's going to let us know what is burning his biscuits, damn it.
Yo, world. What's up, niggas? I ain't never been more blessed, man. Real rap. Peace to my nigga D Jones, man. I love what you're doing. I got a situation to get off my chest, man. I'm gonna let y'all know what really burns my biscuits. You know, I'm starting to face the facts, man. Some people in your life just ain't gonna respect your shit. That's it. You know what I mean? Now, in my situation, I'm talking about a bar. Having a bar is a simple concept. I think everybody probably got one. But y'all ever had people that came to your spot and all of a sudden it became a contest of who could drink the most of your shit? Man, get the fuck out of here, man. My nigga Jerome has been at this since like 99 and shit. My nigga irks me, man. That's my dude, though. So before I go any further, I'm gonna show y'all a few things. Number one, this is a novelty. This is a novelty. This is sake. I don't know what it tastes like because the nigga don't drink it. But I'm telling you that nobody should be in your house trying to drink this shit, period. This, weed vodka. It's a fucking novelty. Now, I know that some of y'all gonna be like, shit, go ahead and open that up, crack that shit open, nigga. No, nigga, I'm not. Only thing I'm gonna do is crack this over somebody's head if they try to open it. It's a fucking novelty, stay away from it. For real, if my nigga wanted some regular shit, it's whatever. You can get whatever you want from the spot, man. It's all right as long as it's legit. You don't touch unopened bottles. You don't, all right? They're novelties, period. You don't drink them. But see, here's what happens. My nigga Jerome, he'll grab shit up, won't tell you he opened it, and then look at you like you fucked up after he opened. I don't like that shit. You know what I mean? Here's what thirsty ass Jerome would do. He'll say shit like this. Dog, really? Why you tripping? It's on the bar. Why I can't drink it? Who does that? My nigga, I do, right? Jerome, man, he has been trying to understand for years why I got liquor in the crib and don't drink it. I wonder if he ever asked himself why I got all these sneakers in the back, but I only wear one pair at a time. Because it makes sense, because I can, and because I want to. That's just what it is. If you're not feeling me right now, it's probably because you go in niggas' cribs and destroy their shit. I'm watching all y'all niggas, man. I don't trust you, all right? Here's the deal. I think it's only right for visitors to replenish what they drink in other niggas' cribs, man. If you want to, you could bring your $15 bottle over here, right? You can do that. I'll drink it with you. I don't like liquor, but I'll fuck with you, right? But you don't get to drink my $100 bottle. You don't get to do that, period. I probably already put the $15 liquor in the $100 bottle. I can almost assure you I did that, right? How dare y'all come up in my house with a CVS bottle of Night Train? I can taste that shit. That's bullshit. Yo, you can't have my Remy XO if you came in here with Night Train. We'll just drink Night Train together. If you've ever been on a real budget, but you love dope aesthetics, you feeling me right now, man. But honestly, I don't really do the stuff I'm talking about right now anymore, but I'm thinking about it. Here's why. Because Jerome better chill out, man. Here's the deal. I'm gonna make him drink something like, I don't know, my cheapest vodka with some faucet water up in this bitch. I can't deal with the rigmarole. I'm gonna show you guys what happens when you let people come in your house, man, and disrespect your alcohol. Y'all know what this is. Hennessy White. Everybody and their mom know what this is. Everybody probably got some. But you know what? One bottle's probably the same. Now this is what normal niggas do. Hold on, let me see if I can get this right. This is what normal niggas do. Nigga, you got the Hennessy White. Let me take a picture with it. Now, yo, look at me. Nah, dog, you don't get to do that with my shit, man. Don't open. But I'm gonna show you what happens when niggas come up in your shit and do shit. If you don't hide it, like this right here, if you don't hide it, right? Because I've got multiple bottles of this. There's a reason for that. I'm gonna show you why. If you don't hide it, this is the end result. Look at this shit right here. Look at this. Did I tell you niggas I don't drink? I don't drink. It's rude as shit to drink up all my liquor like it's yours, man. It really is. Be a lush at home. Don't be up in my crib, trying to throw up and shit, wet burping and shit, talking about, yo fam, I shouldn't have taken that last shot. I mean, I know, but you didn't. So I'm gonna just say it like this. You should have taken the first shot, nigga, period. You cannot walk into my house thirsty with no beverage, bro. What made you think you could come into my house and drink for free? I can't stand you thirsty niggas, man. Y'all type of niggas burn my biscuits, man. This whole thing is word on Wheezy Jefferson, man. I'm not playing. Yo, world, have a good day. It's AM, baby.
A major shout out to my man AM from the AMS Experience. Hey, y'all had that joker hot. You had my guy filling up damn vodka bottles with tap water. Cause y'all don't have no home training. That's why, damn it. Hey, listen, that is gonna be all for Backstage with D Jones. Again, thank you to my man Nelson J. Davis. Thank you again to my man AM from the AMS Experience. And more than anything, thank y'all for pulling up. I am your host, D Jones. This is Backstage, and we'll see you soon. Peace.